Jock jams. I'm going to start doing that every week. Hey, everybody. This will be the last time you listen after hearing that. It is Elevate to Greatness with Nick Lippitt. It's Wednesday, 6 o'clock ish. So that's why we're here to help you grow and scale your business whilst avoiding costly mistakes. Head to elevatetogreatness.co for all the information about who we are and what it is we do. We're going to be talking about production rates. We talked about them last week. Couldn't get to all of them. So we're going to get to more of those. So if you have those, start right now putting them in the chat. Put them in the chat right now so that we can get the first person in the chat is going to get the first their question answered first. So get in on that. We are the Jock Jams thing. Maybe we'll do the real one. Maybe we'll do the real one next week. We'll see if we can get clearance for the royalties on it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Nick Lippitt.
Darby, did you put that voiceover on your keyboard yet?
No, I just every time right before the call, I go, damn it, I forgot to do it.
Bummer.
I have this one though.
Perfect.
I have that one.
Oh, absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Well, happy Wednesday, everybody. Yeah. As always. Dude, the weather is prime again.
It's crazy.
It's only going to last it's going to last for a day or two, and then it's going to get shitty, and then it's going to get warm again.
The shitty doesn't last that long, though. People are like, oh, man, it's going to be shitty, yeah, for an hour and a half, and then you're wearing short pants again.
Dude, the ground is so dry that, like, any moisture we get is just going to suck it right in. It's going to be dry in, I don't know, less than a day.
Yeah, hopefully we don't get too much too soon. It's slower is better because it's so dry.
Yeah. It's, 50% chance of snow on Friday. I haven't seen that in a hot minute.
Snow? What is snow?
Well, or even in the forecast, but the mountains got hammered.
Yeah, well, that's good.
So what is 70 car pileup?
Yeah, there was one guy looking at TikTok on his phone, and then the rest of it happened.
They were probably watching an Elevate reel.
Yeah,
they were probably like, fuck, I can totally use this to keep cost of my business down.
Bam! Now I got to replace my work truck.
Who do you think's the cause of that? You think the first car or the last car pays for all the damages?
Well, the first car, that's the thing. Like first car, like following too close. People just say you're following too close. So I don't know if they slammed on the brakes out of nowhere, then it'll be their fault. And all these cars have cameras. I just got in that accident and I had cameras that showed that the guy ran into me. So we're always on cameras, everyone. And that's a good thing to remember when you're doing consultations to someone's house, by the way. You're always on camera in their backyard. So don't be shit talking their yard when you're back there. This place is a dump. It's not a good idea.
Bro, you can't park there. You can't park there.
You can't park there.
Oh, dude, we gotta get some energy. We're talking about.
I started off singing, for Christ's sake. I'm full of energy. We
are talking about production rates. Fucking production rates. Yeah, this is 2.0. Last week, we dropped some pretty good production rate bombs, don't you think, Darby?
Yeah, I think the walls really got to people because people don't know how to do no wall bids. So that was a big one.
Yeah, that was a big one. So we did walls. What else did we do? I think we just quickly talked about.
Did walls and some boulder walls. We still had turf in there to discuss. We didn't get to that one. So that's one that I think would be helpful because, I mean, I even sometimes, bid it in a way that you go, wait, no, that's not the way to bid it. So I think there's a lot to learn on the turf.
Rachel, can you get rid of the bullshit AI notes for the people who don't participate in the call?
Oh, yeah. If you're reading the AI notes, go to hell. There it is.
There are no AI notes allowed.
Okay.
Everybody that's in here is.
If you don't participate, you don't get any notes.
No, you don't get. I mean, you can't take time out. You don't get your notes. I mean, you can listen to the podcast.
I also do read stops so they don't get an email of the notes.
Good.
I wish we could find a way to send them bad information via AI.
Like bad production rates?
Yeah. Do everything just by square foot. Everything. And the way to do it is find out how everyone else is pricing it and price it the same way.
Yeah.
Thanks for stopping by. That's not right, by the way.
We had some production rate spillover from last week, Darby.
Yeah.
I think
turf was the big one.
Turf might have been one.
Yeah.
We had a really good conversation about turf production rates. I think we finished with boulder walls, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yep. I mean, the walls were a lot to cover because there's just so much there, and it's done so wrong by so many people with the face feet and whatever. So we spent some good time on that. It's good to see Ty back too, because Ty will keep you all on point. Like if you guys are screwing around, Ty's going to call you out.
He will 100% do that.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
so I
have to-
mean, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I'm going to tell Blaine we're talking shit about him on the call.
Yeah, where is he now? Where's Blaine now?
So
hockey night?
yesterday, no, this was good though. The number one, I think the hardest production rate to build is turf. And Blaine had built a turf kit. He was so excited to show me. And he already he built it, sent it to the client, sold it. And I kind of told him, I said, hey, when your turf happens to be the perfect width, you get lucky, right? So like if you're laying turf in 15-foot sections, awesome. However, how often does that happen? You know, and it's super rare. And so I had told him, hey, you know, what you should probably do is build a turf kit 15 feet wide, potentially build a turf kit 12 feet wide, and then build a turf kit with a factor of 10,000 for the amount that you need per square foot. Man, I feel like maybe we should even build one. And so basically what happens when you take your factor rate and you make it 10,000, and if you're using our spreadsheets or you're using any sort of software that has production rates in it, it will make your bid like $1 million or a couple $1 million. And we do that on purpose because no matter what waste factor you put in a kit, it'll never, ever, ever be accurate, right? So the biggest struggle with turf is that you have to buy this shit in specific widths, right? You can't call the turf company and be like, hey, can you send me 100 feet by 10 feet wide? They're gonna
Right.
No, I can't do that. And so yesterday, in this kit that we were building, I got to stop reading the comments. Yesterday, he thought this kit was perfect. And so basically, I said, well, show me how you did it. And he shows me the kit, and I thought it was 600 square feet, right? So the turf roll is exactly 15 feet. And I talked to him a little bit about what to do with production rates and like how to protect himself in the future. And he's like, well, we only sell turf in 15-foot widths. I said, okay. And he wasn't taking it like the way we were talking about it. So 600 square feet rolls 15 feet long or wide, 40 feet, right? 15, 40, 600.
Right.
So we actually wanted, and they wanted to talk about purchasing yesterday. So I said, okay, let's do it. So we go to win it and we go to order the turf. And he's like, Nick, but the turf needs to be 60 feet long. I said, what? He said, yeah, the length is 60 feet. And I said, okay, but you're going to have to buy 900 square feet of turf. And then like the light bulb just clicked. Yeah. And he was like, oh, fuck me. Right? Because that is the problem. When you build production rates in walls, linear foot, pavers, square foot, mulch, square foot, rock, square foot, concrete, whatever, you can buy that material accurate to the square foot. However, in turf, you cannot. And we went round and round and round and round and round and round about this. Darby fucked me so many times on turf last year.
Big time. Wait till he puts pavers in between it. Then you're really
wait till you put strips of turf around the swimming pool that are only 4 feet wide, and the turf has to run in the exact same direction, or it looks like shit.
You cut the pavers in hexagons, whatever. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
So speaking of, we'll pause there for 1 second. I just want to make sure. I'm sure everybody on this call knows, but if you don't know, there are. Whoa. Yeah, the F word's on fire tonight. It is.
That's your way of telling us we're saying that word too much.
Yeah, apparently.
That's it. Yeah.
You know what I do on the way home from the office on Wednesday nights? I just say the F word like every 60 seconds on the way home and just get it out.
I say that when I'm driving in general, but yeah.
So couple things about turf just to make sure everybody knows. You have to run turf in the exact same direction, always. When you seam turf, if it's running this way and you seam it, it has to run this way. You can't do this and do this. We talk about being a part of Elevate to Greatness to eliminate costly mistakes. Man, I wish I could show you guys my first really big turf job I put in. It must have been 4,000 square feet. And we ran some this way, and we ran some this way, and we ran some this way. And the homeowner was like, you can't make those seams any better. And we worked them and 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 worked them. We hired the local turf company here in Colorado that sells it, who also installs it, to come out. And he's like, Nick, I can't help you. This was like, must have been 6 or 7 years ago when turf like started to be a big thing. And I said, what do you mean? And he's like, your turf has to run in the same direction at all times. That's the other thing about wasted turf, right? People are like, oh, if we want to put turf on 3 sides of a swimming pool and we want 3 5-foot bands, I'm just going to order a 15-foot roll and I'm going to cut 5-foot strips in it. Nope, you're definitely not. And if you do, it's going to look like shit. And if you do, you're probably going to underbid us. And then you're going to install it and it's going to look like shit. We've made all these mistakes. So the other big thing when you go to install turf, the blades on the turf roll, they should always face the house. They should always face the biggest viewing section, right? So like, I don't want to say the house. Like if the biggest viewing section towards the turf is going to be on the other side, then you would face it the other way. However, 99.9% of the time, you walk out of your house, you stand on a deck, you stand on a patio, you stand on something that your eyes run with the turf. So always, 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 always run the turf with the view or towards the view of the house. So back to the production rate side of this. Yeah, this just happened yesterday, and we basically sold a 15-foot length of turf. He's like, oh, 600 square feet, put in the kit of 1 square foot and thought it happened to work out perfect. We even talked about building kits with waste. Come to find out that the turf was actually 60 feet long, 10 feet wide. Do you know on a 60-foot long, 10-foot wide versus a 40-foot long, 15-foot wide, you know what the waste percentage is, Darby?
I'm trying to do the math quick in my head, but it's not coming to me.
50%.
Yeah, that's a lot.
50% waste. Yeah, so there was 50% waste on this specific project. And we basically went through and looked at it and ran some calculations. Obviously, the job was already sold, so there was only so much you could do about it. 50% waste on this project put his net profit to -2%. The job was already sold. We already knew we were going to lose money before we even installed the damn thing.
Wow.
So it was a big eye-opening part of that. And so what I would tell you, if we want to talk about building kits specific to turf, build 1 kit, turf, blah, 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 whatever, 15 feet wide, right? So if you're doing your own bids, it's fairly easy to know, for you, Avery, because we've built it this way. If you are building a project, and so our designers do this too, we tell them, hey, if you're going to put turf in a backyard, please lay the turf in 15-foot increments. And so if the backyard is going to get turf, if you can lay it in 15, 30, 45, 60, that would be the best deal for us. Obviously, we can run it the other way and seam it, but that is the ideal way to do it. So we built 1 production rate specific for turf at 15 feet wide. Then we built another production rate for turf 12 feet wide, because some turfs you can buy at 12 feet in width, right? So we did something that's divisible by 15, then we did something that's divisible by 12. Then we took the exact same kit and we put the production rate for turf at 10,000 production per square foot. So what that means is every single square foot that you sell, it needs 10,000 square feet of turf. And you're probably thinking this guy's an idiot. So
Seems like a lot.
put in 500 square feet of turf at a production rate of 10,000 square feet. You need 5 million square feet of turf. We do this shit on purpose, right?
Yep.
So when we go and put the kit in the system, or we go pull the production rate out, or we go into our estimating, it's going to say, oh, that turf is $50 million. That triggers whoever's writing the bid, sales, estimating, superintendents, PMs, whatever, because it could be a change order. That triggers them to think, what the hell is going on here? And then there's notes that say, when putting in the production of turf, make sure that you're calculating waste based on 15-foot wide rolls. So we would go back to the drawing and we would determine how that's going to calculate out, right? So like in this case, the turf was 60 by 10. Yes, it's the turf was 60 by 10. Yes, it's 600 square feet. However, the only way to make that happen is to take a roll of turf, roll it out 60 feet, cut off 5 feet. 60 times 5 is 300. Put in that you need 900 square feet of turf inside of your factor, inside of your production rate, and move on, right? So, and I'm going to do like a second piece of that. All of your base materials, those work by square foot. All your sand works by square foot. All of your nails work by square foot, right? I don't need to install nails by waste. So I can install nails by true 600 square foot. However, you can't in turf. And this is what makes turf so difficult. And so I would tell you, anytime you guys go to build any sort of production rate, if it's in my production spreadsheet, if it's in any software that provides you production ability, here's the other thing I'm going to tell you. If you have a software that doesn't allow you to build production rates inside of your system, I know that I've told you that the best software is the one you're willing to use and commit to. Well, tonight I'm going to contradict myself. If your software doesn't allow you to build production rates, cancel it tomorrow and then thank me in a week. Like, it's the only way to run this business and run it efficiently and be successful at it. You cannot bid projects pencil and paper. Like, I have a bunch of guys in Elevate right now, and they're like, Nick, I'm flooded. I can't get bids out fast enough. Blah, 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 blah. So that is the thing, right? You have to put yourself into a position where you don't have to sit here and pencil and paper it all the time. Or if you're going to stick with a software that doesn't do production rates, get access to the Elevate production rate spreadsheet, because it's the exact same thing as a production rate software. However, the cool thing about production rate software is you can just go flip data inside of it super fast and it recalculates. And then it saves, and then it pulls it all together for you, where not that our spreadsheet is bad, but like in a software, you would go put tree, mulch, plant, rock, turf, patio, kitchen. And ours, you basically go tab by tab by tab by tab by tab and pull it over. So I would tell you that if you're not thinking about things in the production rate world, and I don't even care what business you're in. Like, I see a couple guys on here that are not specific to the landscape business. I don't care what you're building. You should have production rate softwares for tile, hardwood floor, carpet, drywall, trim, doors, glass, windows, right? So like, Darby will be super excited about this. I don't even think Rachel knows yet. She got all mad at me today because Nick and I were planning our next event without her. She's like, oh, you're planning another event without me, are you? Fine, I just won't be a part of it.
Yeah, me either. I wasn't a part of it either. Yeah, we won't go.
Doesn't feel very good, does it?
Yeah, that doesn't feel very good.
Also, they plan these events and then they have no organization and then they expect me to put it all together.
That is what happens.
I got Dante on my side this time. Don't you worry. I think by 2027, and yes, Darby, we're going to have to figure out a new commission structure.
As long as it's higher.
We're going to build custom homes starting at 4 million.
We're going to what now?
We're going to build custom homes starting at 4 million.
We're going to build them.
Mm-hmm. You know how hard it is to sell
actually, I am.
You're going to do it?
Darby, you know how hard it is to sell outdoor living spaces, decks and patios and kitchens and roof covers when you're the general contractor who controls it?
Yeah, well, there it is.
Stash and I had a day on Saturday. Our brains were going.
All right. Well,
so we're going to do a little test stuff this year. So yeah, it's man, commissions move a little faster. Man, could you? Nick Force is going to be on top of the world. Pick up one
Yeah, he
phone
is.
call for a custom house and get a $40,000 paycheck. We're gonna have to rethink that.
I mean, today was a pretty good day for me and Nick Forrest at Rocky Mountain Outdoor Living.
It was good. What did you guys sell today? It was
It was like
590,
five. It was 5:30.
530. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cool to hit resync on the Aspire dash. Did you see the new dashboards I sent you?
Oh, I didn't see it.
You didn't see all the new dashboards on your dashboard?
I haven't been on there since this morning.
Oh, I did them 2 days ago and then last night.
The hell?
I wonder if I shared them to Nick and not to you. I'll have to go look. They're more stuff based on what he works on daily, but it's still good stuff. Anyways, so, Stosh and I were talking about that, right? Like, as we get this carpentry thing dialed, which it's just getting more and more dialed every single day, it's crazy. Carpentry division is going to install at the same rate as everything else in less than 60 days. So everything comes with some sort of production rate, right? If you are in the construction-based business and you are not bidding based off production, you can't track anything. You might get lucky, you might not get lucky. You can't determine if you're losing money in one location and not the other. It's just not a good way to do business. And so we have them for everything. And so Blaine was telling me yesterday, he sent me a text. He said 50 production rates, exclamation point. And obviously that's awesome, right? Because it's been a pretty short period of time. And I said, only 1 million more to go. It never stops.
No, you're always
feel like
running.
it
And
never,
we have a
ever,
list
ever,
too.
ever
We have a list
stops.
like kits needed, and they're always being added. It is Elevate to Greatness with Nick Lippitt every Wednesday, 6:00 ish. We do this. We're talking production rates. If you have some, Emily's dropped some good ones in that we'll get to here in the chat. But if you have questions or things you need help with via about production rates, pricing things, bidding things correctly, hit those in the chat now. You can check the podcast every Thursday on Spotify and head to elevatetogreatness.co to find out how you can buy a new custom home in 2027. That's the plan.
Rachel's going to get one in Frost Creek faster than she thinks she is. And it's a write-off.
We all like this plan very much.
Hey, real quick, since it's on my mind, what kind of lights did you put in the pavers at the project in Centennial? Here, I'm just going to ask everybody on here because everybody know, and like, dude, they're not as easy as you think they are.
No, I know.
I am looking for border pavers that recess inside of pavers. So if you know what these are, please put it in the chat box, right? It could be in about 2 to 4 inches round. They sit flush to the paver. I have some in my driveway, Darby, and they were very, very, very expensive, and they didn't even last 6 months. So I told Herbert to look into it, and I don't know if he did. But basically, I'm looking for something that I can core into a paver and drop the light in the paver, and it sits completely flush, and it's 2 to 4 inches round. So Vista Commercial has them, $950 of extra, Darby. But that wasn't in your production kit.
Yeah, I don't think we have a kit for that.
I don't think we do either. So we should not
need one. Maybe we should get one. We did some at a job though in Castle. We did one at in Castle Pines. I don't want to say the name. We did Castle Pines. We did a reflection.
When? No, there's not flush mount lights there.
Yeah, we did. We did the.
They own Ace Hardware?
No. Orgill. We did them there.
Did we? No, those are in the rocks.
Well, they weren't supposed to.
Oh, all right. Well, we got to figure that out. So if anybody on here knows what kind of flush mount lights you can put in pavers, please drop it in the chat. You will save my ass.
And mine, apparently.
Because that's the next thing I have to figure out, unless Herbert did it, but I don't know if he did. Is Herbert on the call, Darby?
I don't think so. Scrolling. No Herbert.
He's really busy down in Guatemala. Yeah, back to the turf production thing. I would have 3. Actually, I would have 4. I would have one for a 15-foot wide kit. I would talk to your designers. I'd say, hey, start designing turf in 15 foot. In fact, even put the dashes on the drawing. Here's the thing. If you have a yard that's 45 feet wide by Yeah, I should talk to Blaine about this one. Maybe it would be a better fit. 45 feet wide, 15 or 45 feet wide, 20 feet deep. Flip the turf and double seam it, right? So double seam it and 45 feet divides by 15, and that will work, right? So in that case, square footage will work. Then I would do 1 by 12 because I don't know, some of the manufacturers we have sell some of their turfs in 12 feet wide. Then I would have one that basically has a production rate of some absurd number. So it costs so much money that every single time you go to bid it, you're like, wait a second, what the hell? And put a little note in there. Rachel, can you get a hold of your dogs? Then I would put a note in there that you actually calculate the production rate based on what's needed, based on roll sizes and waste. And then the fourth one, Darby, I would put in there would be for putting greens, right? And so putting greens, you might have two for putting greens because you'll have one that happens to work at 15 feet, then you'll have another one that doesn't. Again, base fill, infill, nails, all that stuff. The other thing people have recently asked me about turf is turf edging. And so people put turf edging inside of the production inside of the turf. You can't do that. They're not factorable equally. So basically, when we sell turf at Rocky Mountain Outdoor Living, we have a turf kit and then we have a turf edging kit. Same thing with concrete, right? We have a concrete kit, we have a concrete form kit. Because yes, these two products go together in order to build something. However, they don't equally lay out the same, if that makes sense. So when we build production rates, in my production rate kit, you don't have to worry about that. But in software production rate kits, you do, because in Excel, you can change the factor but in most softwares, you can't. You have to pick one type of factor, and then you have to work inside of that. So 15-foot turf, 12-foot turf with some crazy factor, 15-foot putting green with some crazy factor, and then I would probably do a turf edging kit. And I'll tell you, if you're on this call and you are not doing Infinity Edge turf edging, you should probably step up your game. Yeah. It is so badass. It is way better than any sort of metal edging. To be honest, you should put turf edging even butted up next to concrete because you can tuck and roll it. Like, it is awesome. The other thing I would tell you in the world of turf, for those of you asking about turf, if you really want to step up your game, start adding padding underneath your turf. It is absolutely incredible. So we put padding under our 2.5 inch turf. It feels like you're walking on grass. And then the padding kind of is like a memory foam. So it kind of like, it compresses. And so Darby sold this, what was that, Darby? Maybe October of last year, November, when we did that one up in Broomfield. I was walking on it and I'm like, oh my God, this is so nice. So then I took my shoes off and I'm just walking around this people's turf, and the homeowner came out and he's like, is it that good? I said, just wait. Like, I'll never install turf without padding again. Never. The project we're doing in Colorado Golf right now, Darby, homeowners don't even know we didn't have it in there. I brought padding in for the whole entire project. Like,
wow, that's a lot.
They walk on it, they are going to be mind blown. But if you think about it, right? So think about just carpet, or think about any sort of, even think about like wood, right? Hardwood floors, carpet, turf. Lay the shit down on concrete and walk on it. It's not comfortable, right? And so basically what we're doing with road base and breeze and compaction, we're creating a base that's about as hard as concrete, right? And so the second you put a padding underneath that, and they come anywhere from 5/8 of an inch to 2 inches, you are now putting some sort of like absorption underneath it. And so like if you go outside right now and walk across your real grass and then walk across turf, one is very, very, very hard and dense. And so when you put padding underneath it, like, it is a game changer. I will tell you guys, I'm going to look it up just here really fast. So if you, Darby, pull up your chat so you can text this into it. For those of you who'd like golf, today was a very interesting day in the golf world. The Saudi Arabia is talking about pulling the funds to the live, Darby. Like, gone tomorrow.
Is that the mini golf one where they shot it into the clown's mouth and stuff? Is that what that was? Because
That's
that's the one I like. I like the mini golf one.
Oh, you're so funny. Yep, that's the mini golf one.
Yeah. No, I know that's where the people who hate America went to play for a while. And now they're coming back because they realize
Wow.
it's all right.
They might not be able to because they gave them a window, and once the window was closed, they won't allow anyone back until the next season, assuming they reopen it back up.
Are you looking for the link
Yep,
for
hold on.
Poly Edge?
Okay. No, here. So type this in. @ where the shit is it? Hold on. Okay, so @ DLS turf courts.
You want me to put that in the chat?
Yep, @ DLS turf courts. So these dudes, I'm chasing these guys in the turf world. We're really, 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 really pushing. The sales team isn't yet, but on our side, we're really, really, really focusing on like high end turf jobs. Derby, my brother just put in a putting green in Colorado Golf. It's 60 by 20, $66,000. Yeah,
We should sell more of those.
66 grand. They installed it in 2 days.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I hate to say it, but it sucks.
Well, they might
But
need a new one.
so we're really focusing, and once it's done, I'll bring some pictures to the table for everyone to see. At the one we're doing in Colorado Golf Derby, we're doing a 4-inch elevation rise. So we're going to like shelf it. So it's going to come up here and then it's going to go down, and there's going to be holes up top and holes in the bottom. And then where it curves, we're going to bank it. So we're going to shape banks into the curves. And then on the very edge of the putting green, we're going to drop everything 2.5 inches down for the fringe. And you don't know what all of these terms mean.
Yeah, where's the
golf.
windmill? That's all I want to know.
You'll see though, like I told Desmond, this thing is super important to me. Like super important to me. Every single day I go there because of this damn putting green. But it's so these guys, go on Instagram and look at these guys up and follow them. These guys are doing like next level shit. And when I look at this, so I don't even know, I found them like 6 months ago. And I was like, yeah, we do that. Yeah, we do that. Yeah, we do that. Shit, we don't do that. And there's just really, really good information in here. And I've messaged back and forth with them a few times, and they're super responsive. They're totally taking turf to the next level. Like, I don't know, dude, there's like turf maintenance, like swimming pools. They go out, they sanitize it, they spray it, they clean it, they vacuum it. They have these turf tools where they come in and they like put moisture on it and suck it up. It is disgusting what the vacuum looks like when Yep.
Yay.
Sometimes I'll go outside and lay in the turf with Harley and Pearl, and I'm just like, I'm just soaking in piss.
Yeah, one of those CSI lights would make you sad.
Dude, they
You
show
should
you
have
how
seen
to.
Tyler's face just now when you said that.
Oh yeah, mhm.
Questioning you.
I know what the face is. I know what it is. So here, I don't know if you can see it. This is padding under a putting green, and they show you all of it step by step, and they're showing you how they're putting the cups in. This stuff is legit, and so we use very, very similar products depending on your vendors locally where you're at. But I ordered some special stuff for this next project that we had, Derby, and like I looked at it today. The cups are so sick. Like they're really nice. They're heavy. They're weighted at the bottom. We talk about different types of sand types, but they show you so many cool tips and tricks to seaming turf, to rolling turf, how to cut it quicker. Like they show all these, and then basically when you bring turf into concrete, a lot of guys just lay it down and pin it, and that is definitely not the way to do it. So follow those guys. They got some super, super cool stuff. I know there's a bunch of good questions here. I'm going to skip through a couple because there's some specific to turf, Derby, so we're going to have to come back. Okay. So basically infinity edging, you take poly edge, so like a poly edge material. You can get it in 1x4, 2x2, and 2x4, and you basically run it around the perimeter. And then, like assuming this is your poly edge, your turf comes over the top, and then it tucks like this, and then you pin it in the face. And so basically, You don't see any edging on our turf at all. None. And then that poly edge, we basically will install rocker mulch straight to the turf. And it has a really, really, really cool formed edge. Rachel, are you on your phone or your computer? Oh, she's on her computer because we have Infinity Edge rolled turf in our yard. Oh, she's gonna take a picture and she'll show you. So basically, you don't use any edging except for poly now. The turf goes over the top, rolls, and then you take a pin nailer and you staple pin it to the face. And then so basically you start on one edge and that gives you like a really, 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 really tight grab, and then you stretch pull against it. So you're not using nails to hold your turf in place when you're stretching against it. You're pinning it and then pulling it.
So they would search for, because I know we call it poly edge in our kits, but would someone like search for poly edge for turf? That's what they'd search
Yeah,
for.
yeah, poly edging. So you know what's funny, Darby? When I first saw this stuff, I'm like, that's the bullshit that Home Depot sells. You know, back in the day, like homeowner specials, they go buy that plastic edging from Home Depot and they
Yeah.
wrap it around trees and shit.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
that's poly edging. It comes with those like hook pins. So like it's got the little hook and it goes down in the ground. Is the only reason I use this stuff. Like this stuff should have disappeared because our industry would never use it. And now all of a sudden it's back because that's how you pin turf. The other thing is when it's 4 inches tall, the cool thing about it is it actually retains the subgrade, right? Like I used to use a lot of 2x2 material, and then I stopped using it because 2x2 with 4 inches of subgrade, it's only retaining half.
Right.
So we switched to the 1x4, and it also gives us like on 2x2, right? You have a point. On 1x4, you have multiple points where you can tack into it. So, oh, Rachel posted a picture. Let's see if it opens. Because it's an apple. It's that stupid apple form, HEIC, whatever that means.
Heek.
Oh, there it is.
Do I need
Here.
to do it in a different way?
No. Hold on.
Is it working?
Yeah. So here. There you go. That's Infinity Edge turf. So you can't see any edging. It's really cool. It rolls. The rock sits right up against it and it holds it in place. So it just looks really, really, really nice, and it curves super well too. So we have that. It's probably over 100-foot run all the way down the side of our yard. So if you don't do that, you should look into it because it's absolutely amazing. And to be honest, it installs faster. You get 0 callbacks. I look out my office all the time because my neighbors didn't go with us for their landscape project. It hasn't even been 2 years. They put in roll top edging. The shit's like this. The turf's all over the place. It's falling over the top. The sand's. You should totally take a picture of that. She's gonna take a picture of that so I can show you the difference. Darby, who would have thought you could talk so much about turf?
No, I mean, I think and we haven't even gotten to all the questions about it yet. It is super complicated, and there's so many moving parts. And because you were talking about how you can't, the base you can buy by square foot, but the turf is different. And then you have to have the edging in a different kit, so you can't have them all together. So it's unique that way.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people are bidding it and definitely installing it wrong. So there's a lot to learn about turf.
Actually, I'm here. I'll drop a bomb on tonight's call. Turf related. Give me 2 seconds.
Turf bomb. Wait, is that about? I don't know what turf bomb is.
Dude, this document that I'm about to show you, it's absolutely priceless. Let's see, where did I do with this? I sent it to Desmond last night. There we go.
I sent a picture in the chat, Nick, of what it looks like when you don't use the other stuff.
No problem. Let's see. So I'm going to show a couple things here. Yes, moving to this next question, turf related. Does padding work under putting greens too, or are those better without? I'll never install a putting green again without padding. Never, ever, ever, ever. And for lots of different reasons. So when we install putting greens, we have 3 different types of turf. So beginner, intermediate, expert, as far as golfers. So these are things you would ask your clients. You could also sell them a green and then you could upgrade them. So we have 3 different levels of turf. Then we have 3 different levels of infill. And so we have infill calculated by how fast you want the ball to roll. If you put in a putting green and the ball sucks and it doesn't roll, it's because it doesn't have enough sand. The other thing is that you should always, always, always compact your turf, and people don't realize that. Rachel, where'd you send it? Where'd you say you sent it? Oh yeah, sorry, it's back down there. You should always compact your turf. And people are like, compactor on your turf, 100%. Back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Lay more sand. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Lay more sand. We run straight plate compactors over our turf, no pads on them at all. And that makes oh yeah. Oh, you went that way with it. Yeah, I guess that works. Here's a chuck and a truck special. So,
Oh, you can see the dots too, the
hey,
perforators.
look at the turf. Yeah, speaking of, and I'm going to show you guys something that's going to be worth so much. Nail, 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 nail. If you can see my pink dots, right? You can see every nail in this thing. They used the wrong size nails. Ugh. These guys, I remember he's like, oh, these guys are like half your price. I'm like, okay.
There
And
you
then
go.
here's a sweet chuck and a truck special.
That's terrible.
In Darby, you can't see it because Rachel took it head on and not down the line. Dude, if you look at this picture down the line, the turf it goes like here. I gotta unshare my screen so you can see my hand. It literally goes like this, and so the turf is still kind of straight, and the edging works in and out like this, and you can it's fucked. There you go, dear.
There it is.
In
like 30 minutes though.
30 minutes in.
That's not bad.
No, it's not so bad. All right, so here I'm going to show you guys this. And for those that didn't join tonight, too bad. And if you joined the podcast, I won't send it to you.
You can't see this on the
So
podcast. You don't know what I'm doing right now. If you're listening to the podcast, I could be doing anything. You don't know. You can't see what I'm doing.
Yeah, I guess you can't see any of this.
Yeah.
So here's a welcome gift for all of you guys. If you go to your chat boxes, this thing is absolutely amazing. Let's see here. Download this to your computer before the call is over. I'm going to show you a couple things real quick. Here's the install guide that we follow, specific for putting greens. And it talks about every single thing you possibly need. It talks about cup installation. It talks about grain lies. It talks about how much elevation change you should put in per foot, right? So you should never increase or decrease more than 6 inches by 10 feet. As you get a little bit further in here, it shows you exactly how to cut fringe. It shows you here how to slope greens. It talks about how much you should slope a green for a beginner versus non-beginner golfer, because if you slope a green too much for a beginner golfer, you're going to get called back because they're absolutely going to hate it. This talks about install and layers. There's some tricks in here about getting rid of these tiny little divots that road base markings make, these little things here. And then, yeah, so 1 inch over 10 feet would be authentic and make water move. But then we also talk about how to bankroll curves. Like, so obviously that looks like shit, and off to the right is the ideal goal. So we're building this right side picture literally as we speak. It's a replication of that project. And then it talks about exactly how to install putting greens at what heights, because a lot of people fuck this up, and once it's too low, you're in trouble. This also talks about how you can put it into PVC so you can adjust heighting. It's fire. So it's in the chat box. Download it if you want it. This is something that's inside of our Elevate resource guide. So those of you who are in Elevate, you can also access it if you're inside of the group on Heartbeat. But there you go. That should be super, super, super helpful in how to install some of these things at a way better level than you're essentially installing them right now. This will make a huge, huge difference. Let's see. There's nothing else turf related, right?
I don't think so.
I just want to get all those questions out of the way before we switch the topic. Joseph, did that answer your questions? Just drop it in the chat box and tell us. Did Blaine join? He's not going to have access to this guy.
Sorry, Blaine. Take off.
He's too busy.
Blaine is
Oh, there he is. There he is. There's Blaine.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
It's good to have Blaine back in the fold.
Nick, did you see Emily's questions? She's got some pretty good ones in here.
Yeah, I'm working through them.
I just want to
Blaine,
make
were
sure.
you here at the beginning?
Let's go.
Okay, so people wanted to talk about turf kits, so I used a little bit of an example of what we worked through yesterday. And then we talked about, and I don't even know that we talked about this yesterday, Blaine, but turf kit 15 feet wide, 12 feet wide, and then something with some absolutely crazy factor so that you can go in and calculate all of your waste. The other thing I was going to tell you, Blaine, you didn't order that, did you? You can just shake your head yes or no if you're not unmuted. No. He's talking, but I can't hear him. Are you? No, he's unmuted. We had this problem yesterday. I still can't hear him. I was thinking about this after the fact. And so
I think I got you now.
there you go.
There he is.
Hey, Blaine, how good are your guys at seaming turf?
I would say that we're probably on a level of 8 out of 10.
So, dude, you know how we talked about your turf being 10 by 60?
And 15 by 60, yeah.
No, but what's your actual install? Because we had 600 square feet because we had waste of almost 50%.
No, well, on the one that we did yesterday, there was a waste of 300 square feet, but it was because we hit the best size of using the full 15 feet wide, but we didn't, in our kit, we had no waste. So we're actually, I think it ended up, the value that it cost us was about $1,500. We were essentially lost because we didn't allocate for waste.
What is the exact, like, what is it? But it's not 15 by 60. What is the actual installation of the turf size?
Oh, 600 square feet.
But the 600 square feet is made up by what size?
15 by 61.
No, it can't be, because 15 by 61 is 900 square feet.
I know the piece that we needed was 15 by 61, which is 900 square feet, but we only put in our kit or sold the client 600 square feet. So we're losing out on, we didn't have no waste factor. So we lost the 300 square feet.
So if you trace it on a piece of paper and send me a picture, I'll look at it, Blaine. But essentially what I wanted you to think about, what if you install your turf the other way and put seams in it? So let's just assume that this was 10 by 60. You bid 600 square feet. However, you're going to need 900 because of the way you buy. I was thinking about this. Take your turf and spin it and go 15 by 10, 15 by 10, 15 by 10, 15 by 10, 4 seams, 0 waste.
Yeah, 0. So definitely 0 waste on that. I was actually at this job site today, and to calculate out what, if we could get away with that. I still think it's going to be, this way is going to be better for us because our seam time could be efficient enough to offset that cost.
For sure. It was just an idea.
We get there, yeah, probably in seam efficiencies, but I would say being an 8 out of 10, you need to be 10 out of 10 on seaming to make that work. So yes, we could have flipped it and did that.
Here's a trick for everybody in the world of turf. If you're not 100% sure about seaming, or you're uncertain and you're not sure if your guys can do it, go find yourself a carpet installer and have them come out for a day. Our current turf guy that does all of our seams used to be a carpet installer, and we laid a bunch of turf in a project, and we had a mistake and we had to pull it up. We couldn't find the seams. We couldn't figure out where the hell the seams were because we wanted to pull a seam and we couldn't. So we had to pull until we found the seam. So if you guys are doing turf and you're struggling on seams, obviously you can do this S-curve nonsense and whatever. We don't do that. We run it straight lines. We raw cut the dead. We blend it together. We literally glue or tape glue seam straight in a straight line, and you can't even find them. So if you're looking for a way to get better, find yourself someone who either is a carpet installer or used to be a carpet installer, because their seam work is so good. It's crazy. So good. Also, there's a bunch of tools right now that you can use that really, really help take the turf blades and like bleed them together. So, all right, Darby. Well, now we can switch the subject. Where are we at here? There's so many things over here.
Yeah, we have 5 minutes left. So,
oh shit.
Yeah,
I guess we're going to do production rates 3.0.
Because Emily she has really good ones. I mean, irrigation, kit overrides. You can maybe do the equipment cost one quickly.
Let's see. So let's do production rate 3.0 because I feel like this is super, super valuable and I love talking about this stuff. This is the shit I obsess about.
Mhm.
And Avery's getting on the same point. Oh no, let's do no, let's do kit override price, Darby. That's a good one and it's easy,
Okay.
right? So uh okay, so kit override price. Yes, I do it. And let me tell you where I do it at. Uh trees and plants. Always, 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 always trees and plants. And this is why. And if somebody in here has figured it out, drop it in the chat box or tell us that you figured it out and let's bring them on, Darby, and talk to them. So here's the deal. Trees, plants, perennials, whatever, anything in the world of vegetation. So the other option would be to change markups and have markup factors specifically to trees and plants, but we don't. We roll it under landscape markup. So here's the problem. We have a gross margin target of 51%. And so we'll put a tree in there and we put everything else in there, right? We put in the tree stakes, put in the galvanized wire, we put in the labor, we put in the mulch, or sorry, we put in the eco compost mix, we put in the drip line, we put in the emitter, and then we mark it up. And so basically we're selling like, and this is where I caught this issue. I was reviewing a bit. I'm like, what the hell? We were selling trees for like $900, like 2-foot maple tree, $900. Or we were selling 6 or 7-foot pine trees for like $850. And I'm like, man, this is just really low. And so back before I started doing production rates, I had some flat rate pricing. And one of my things about trees and plants is it was always 2.5 or 3 times cost, right? Very simple, very easy. The tree's $300. I install it for 900. The tree's $450. I install it for what's that, $1,350. And so we started moving a lot of this stuff into production rates inside of our software. And what I realized is I was like, man, I'm leaving a lot of money on the table because of the market. The other thing is, not only was I leaving money on the table because of the market, warranty, right? That's the big one. So I was like, okay, warranty cost replacement. Well, how do you add in warranty cost replacement to production kits? And so when you sell a tree or a plant, and the reason a lot of guys are using, or a lot of people are using 2.5 or 3 times cost is it covers labor and materials, but it also covers the replacement tree if it were to die, right? Like the clients are essentially buying an insurance policy and you're covering it out of pocket. And so on a traditional materials plus markup to margin, if the tree were to die, you would actually end up in the negative. So then I was like, oh, that's easy. I'll just use a waste factor of 100%. And so I built some kits with a waste factor of 100%. We started plugging them through. This was an interesting situation. I'd moved somebody, one of the girls from administrative assistant, then she moved to client success manager, then she moved to project manager. And she's like, hey, Nick, I want to order the trees. And I was like, no, wait till I get back. I was in Lake Powell. And she's like, hey, I'm really comfortable with it. Just let me do my job. I already knew. I was like, okay, fine. So first of all, we had one specific 6-foot evergreen kit and we had sold junipers inside of it. And so she didn't catch that. The other thing is at the time we had a waste factor of 100%. We needed 8 trees. She sent 16 trees to their house. The nursery doesn't take returns. I had to beg them. They charged us 35% restocking fee. This was a big lesson learned. So the problem with a waste factor on a tree is that when you go into purchasing, your waste is added to your purchase quantity. So if I need 1 tree and my waste is 100%, it's going to tell me I need 2. So I don't need 2. Okay, so that doesn't work, right? So then recently I had thought about, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to create a warranty line item that duplicates the tree cost. So we'll put in the tree, we'll put in the labor, we'll put in the compost, we'll put in the tree posts, we'll put in the straps, we'll put in blah, 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 blah. And then we'll have a warranty line item that doesn't show to the client. And it's warranty for trees. And it's basically the same cost as the tree purchase. So this is another way to do it. And I haven't built this kit yet, but I'm curious to see where it would land. So what I have done is I've price override all of this stuff. So 1 gallon perennial, I've built a kit, and it's super important because I still need a labor factor and I still need a material cost estimated versus actual. But then I overrode the price to 3 times cost because it's actually more expensive than where my system is pulling it. So I did an override price on perennials. I did an override price on shrubs. I did an override price on 2-inch trees, 3-inch trees, 4-inch trees, 6-foot pines, 8-foot pines, 10-foot pines, 12-foot pines. So that what's important is that I don't want a flat rate price because I need associated labor and material cost to that specific item. So we use override price for all of those specific kits. And I am going to determine if I can do this warranty cost. The other thing is that if anybody in here is using Aspire and they know the answer to this question, I'm trying to figure out how to round up materials to the whole number. And so I was talking to Blaine about this yesterday, and then we've been talking about it for a while. In carpentry and hard, like, Darby, you can't buy 2.5 bags of sand. You
Right.
can't. Well, when your kit tells you you need 2.5 bags and you charge the client 2.5 bags, but you have to buy it in 3, there's loss in materials there.
Right.
So this is a part of my, I have a long conversation coming up on Friday with Aspire. And so I'm going to ask them, I know that you can do a roll up price for your bid. So at the bottom, instead of it saying $285,615.16, it will auto roll it to the whole number. But I want to know, Joseph, you know where I'm going with this. Joseph and I are working on some pretty cool stuff in the background. I want to know if I can get the materials inside of production rates to automatically roll to the whole number, right? Like, Darby, you can't buy 1.5 sticks of rebar, right? You can't buy 1.5 pieces of edging. You can't buy 1.5 boxes of nails or screws, or there's so many things you buy that you have to buy in very, very, very specific quantities. And so basically, I am trying to figure out, and we'll talk about this next week because I'll have an answer. If I can get my materials to roll up to the next whole number. So what we do internally at Rocky Mountain, and Darby loves this, when Darby writes his bid and he's done, he literally opens every single kit one by one by one by one by one by one by one.
Yep.
And he rounds it up and rounds it up and rounds it up and rounds it up. Dude, wasted time. We don't have time to waste.
Right.
Yeah,
that'd be amazing.
So Joseph, something to think about in our little thing we're doing behind the scenes. Could we pull the data, auto round it up, and push it back? So Tyler, put in the chat, are you a new Aspire user? Man, if you are, we should talk, because I could wizard the hell out of your system. And Aspire is going to tell you to do some things that you should not do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, I used it once with a different company, and then I came into company I'm with now and advocated for it and everything because we were both on LMN and Service Autopilot.
Yeah.
And so now we started implementing it basically Christmas Day, and we have our guy, or we're live with it now, but fighting just getting all the kits put together and everything like that, and rolling it out and making sure that our production rates are good. I haven't slept much the last few months or so.
Nick can relate to that for sure.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I'm beyond kit building at this point, but I'm into some other stuff in Aspire, and like, dude, it's 4 a.m. till 10 p.m., 11 p.m., midnight. Sometimes I literally feel like I set my head down and wake back up and I'm back in front of my computer because I'm so obsessed with it. It's crazy.
Yep.
And the faster you get it to where it needs to be, it is crazy how much money it will put in your pocket. Like, it is absolutely crazy.
Yep. So yeah, I'm getting a lot of pressure on me right now. Why the hell did we choose to do this? And a lot of finger pointing. And it's just like, let's just work through it. Let's get it going. Let's make it work for us.
you should go back to, where are you at in this company? Are you an estimator?
Yeah. Well, I'm running the sales team now, but I've been project admin, job costing, and everything like that.
You should tell them to give you 1 year, and in the following season, whatever the increase in net percentages of your business, you get half.
Yeah.
Just wait. Like when you get it to where you want to get it to, like it is mind blowing what it does.
Yeah. Well, and that's what we are. Like I'm in on the executive leadership team with some net profit sharing and everything like that. Commission structure.
It's going to move the needle.
Mhm.
It's going to move the needle in bidding. It's going to move the needle in purchasing. It's going to move the needle in waste. It's going to move it in labor. Like I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see where you guys are at in a year or two. Like it'll be the best decision they ever made as long as they get it there.
Yep.
So, Darby, oh yes. So I will get an answer on the roundup of materials and see, because it doesn't look like anybody knows, and it looks like a lot of people also want that same question. So yeah, Emily, basically back to the question, we do use this. We don't use it a lot. I certainly don't want to use it on like paver overrides and things of that nature. But if we know that there are things that we want at a specific cost, like this specific plant, then we will absolutely do an override price. And so the other thing I see that you put in here is that you're manually entering waste percentages. You should just put these in your kits, and you should have a standard waste percentage across the board, and then just do a minor tweak. But if you, like, for all of you guys that are in Aspire or even in Ty's program or any of these softwares, if you go, when we're done, go on ChatGPT and search average waste percentage per landscape material, it will plug you out a chart, and it will do everything: road base, sand, poly sand, gravel, mulch, edging, fabric, and basically it takes all of this data and plugs it together. Just use it as a basis, right? Like you don't even have to match it, but it gives you a basis, and you will be shocked. Every single product that you could imagine has some sort of waste percentage on it, some way, somehow. So the other thing though, like, and back to the tree thing, and then I'm going to stop. Darby, and I'll let you take it back. The thing about waste percentages and putting it in, like you could technically put in a manual waste percentage for a tree. However, your purchasing department, it will tell them to buy it. And that's where it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem because of that. So the last thing I'm going to leave it with, and I don't have a QR code and I don't get anything out of it, but I will tell you that it's super, 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 super beneficial. I don't even know the dates. Rachel, maybe you could look them up, or we'll put them on the next call. Ignite this year is in Florida. This is a 2 or 3 day conference for Aspire. And I'm basically slotted or submitted for 4 classes, and they're going to let me do, we think, a 90-minute hands-on how to build production rates. And so if you've ever been to one of their conferences before, usually you sit in a room and there's a bunch of chairs and you watch the screen and you're taking pictures and you're taking notes and it moves really fast. In this case, we're going to have roundtables. We're going to have screens where everyone's going to have their computer out, and we're literally just going to sit there and we're going to roundtable production rates so everybody can see it, and we're going to build them live time in this room. So I think that would be super beneficial for the people that are using this. And the thing is like some kits are easy, but then there's like next level production rates and like how you think out of the box. And there is a way to do everything. You just have to figure out how the system thinks and then think the same way.
There it is.
Put it in the
There it is.
chat. October 7th through the 9th.
So there it is, everyone. October 7th through the 9th. You can learn some of the stuff in person. It's Elevate to Greatness with Nick Lippitt every Wednesday, 6 o'clock ish. We do this, and we've been talking through production rates the last couple of weeks. We might be going back to that next week because there's so many good ones to get to. So Nick will update you on what he finds out as well about what he was talking about. So we'll get to all of that. Go to elevatetogreatness.co. Check the podcast tomorrow. That would be Thursday on on Spotify. Nick, any last words?
See you next week.
Next week, everyone.